Welcome, welcome. This is a very special edition of the What's Really Going On podcast. This is episode number 64. Be sure to follow us on our social media on Twitter and Instagram at WRGO Pod. Be sure to watch on YouTube where you can watch this video in full. If you want to listen to the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, listen, and comment on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and to check out all of the updates from the What's Really Going On team. Be sure to check us out at what'sreallygoingonpod.com. This is a very special episode because apparently all hell has broken loose. But first, I'm joined by Mackenzie and Henry. How are you guys, as usual?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I guess a goal for us to get the intro together.
Why would you even start?
You starting off my year negative, and that's how.
No, it wasn't like that. I was like, "What? Did you choke or something?"
I was drinking the national drink of black people, Sprite, and
I was confused.
We're gonna circle back to that because I've seen a lot of people drinking that.
Sprite's the national.
Right. Yeah.
Sprite is the national soda of black people, if you didn't know. But that's not why we're here. So yes, like I said earlier, all hell has broken loose. So we're going to talk about the domestic terrorism, whatever y'all want to call it, at the Capitol yesterday. So we're going to get y'all hip on that. So the day began on Wednesday with Trump's Save America rally, which saw his sons, his lawyer Rudy Giuliani, and President Trump himself speak before noon. At around that same time, Congress gathered to count and certify the votes for the Electoral College. These terrorists, rioters, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call them, then breached the perimeter of the police lines and stormed/scaled the walls of the Capitol. They then stormed the floor of the House and Senate, entered congressional office while being aided and also fighting Capitol Police. Worth noting that a noose was found outside the Capitol grounds and rioters walked inside the Capitol with the Confederate flag. One rioter was shot and killed. I'm not even gonna mention her name because it's not worth it. The DC National Guard, fun fact, was mobilized nearly 3 hours after rioters gathered at the Capitol. Last night, Congress eventually counted the Electoral College votes, certifying that Biden is now going to be president officially, and Trump has been deleted from Facebook and Twitter. So what is your guys' takeaway from yesterday? Because that was a mess, and that's me putting that lightly.
To say the least. Now, that was actually so crazy to me. So, I feel like this is going to be a moment where people are like, where were you when this, really erupted? Because I was I was sleeping, and then I got an alert because I'm in the D.C. area, and it's like a curfew or things are going to be closed if you can't get. So I turn on the news, and you see people climbing up the Capitol steps. You see people breaking windows. And then on the news, when they had pictures from inside the Capitol, it looked like a real terrorist attack. They're locking furniture against the doors. They have guns shown or whatever, drawn to people and stuff. It was just really, really crazy. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw the pictures, especially the pictures of inside the Capitol and people were literally looked like they were scared for their lives, was 9/11, just a serious terrorist attack. And there was even one of the congresswomen on the news had said that she had called her husband saying to find the will. Yeah, she thought she was gonna die. So I don't even that was just so crazy to me. But I think the craziest thing about it was how easily they were able to just walk into the Capitol building. That was just so wild to me. But
we just speak or hone in on the point that you said it's easy. It's not easy to do that. We all have went.
They certainly made it look easy.
No,
it was easy for them.
So that's the point I'm going to. That's what I'm getting at. Let's hone in on the fact that it just happened so miraculous, so easy, right? They just walked up in there, chilling, feet on the desk,
and they got escorted out.
Escorted out. But we all stay in the DC area. You know what I'm saying? We know them buildings. They be having people yards away looking at you, pointing a gun.
You can't go on Capitol grounds, or you can't go to a congressional building. Everyone who has either been at the Capitol more than 3 times has a story about them getting yelled at by Capitol Police.
Bro, and
Every
that,
black
like, when we went out there to take our pictures, they was on us like, y'all too close. Like, bro.
y'all
So
too,
I was
y'all
really
too close,
like,
right, to the Velvet Gate that we're 15 feet away from.
bro, and to me, I was really like, this is the culminate, like, this is America, bro. Like, this is America. That, and to be honest, I was talking to like my sister, and y'all might be saying in some hotel, whatever, but like, she was like, they got paid to do that. Like, they like, because to me, on some real, to the point of this was some terroristic stuff, not, and I ain't trying to sound like a-hole to disregard all the damage that they have, but not a lot of body drop, you know what I'm saying? So to that point, it's like, you know, what was the real intent behind that? That
What?
like doing all of that.
I mean,
No,
I think
they really wanted to go in there
Yeah.
and fight for the electoral, you know, what Congress is doing or whatever. They wanted to talk to Congress people to make sure that they do not give Trump not give Biden the certification to win. It makes no sense though. It
And
makes
that's
no
my
sense.
point. That's literally my point. It makes no sense. And for me, I think I texted this in a group chat last night. I am rationalizing that, like, they're like, you know, for us, we're all like, we want the better American. We're aiming for this, and this is what needs to happen. Da, da, da. But like, as if you take a like step back and realize like the America that they think they had and thought they was existing in while Trump was there will no longer, like, will never ever exist here. But
yeah,
like,
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, I think that's like the hard thing about all of this is that I think that watching it, I was just shocked, mainly because it's like, this is something that it's kind of like when you see something that you know you just have I can't get myself in that headspace because I'm afraid of police. I'm afraid of the Capitol Police. So
And
I
that's
can't
my thing,
imagine.
right?
And I also think that like, it's always like the action and then the response and then what kind of the general conversation is where it's like, you know, we're better than this. And it's like, we should be, but we never have been. And it's like, this
and that's
is just,
what's blowing me about the news coverage. Is like, well, this
too.
isn't the like, this is what not. Like, why are you so
It's not just the news
surprised?
coverage. It was President-elect Biden who said, quote, we're so much better than this, America.
And that's
And
a real.
I just feel like you have to keep saying that every year, every other week. That we're not better than this. This is the America most of us.
This is us.
We know. That's my thing about the politicians or the Democratic Party. They like to play or live in this facade as if everything's okay and blah, blah, blah. Because we are making, again, small steps to living in a more liberal country, right? However, we know as Black people, no. Like, it's, you know, you just now opening the, you know, I don't know, what Pandora's box to all the issues, you know what I'm saying? Because for us, we've been oppressed for so long, and to see yesterday on some like real life, it was almost like a punch in my chest. Like, I was not gasping for air, but I'm like, oh my, if I ever had the audacity to even attempt to have a thought like this, I'm gonna be down in the grave.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I think on a simpler point, and it's like, I think this often kind of like gets to, I think even though it gets away, like, what if Black people live? Like, well, one, we wouldn't get the chance. We wouldn't get the opportunity.
That's where I'm like, I'm gasping for air, and it hurts me because it's like they have the freedom, the liberation to go stand up for justice, the blah blah blah. But for us, we're just protesting. We're getting hit with gas, tear gas, and rubber bullets and dogs, and
we're not even protesting. We're sleeping in our beds. We're at a traffic.
We're literally standing somewhere.
It's not even movement there.
That too, though, they get the freedom to do all of that, exist in America as they want to, and then when they don't feel like they're getting justice or equality, they still have the liberation to go fight for it. When for us, we can't do either or. So it's literally, I got punched. Like, bro, I'm so frustrated. And to me, it's like, bro, what can I do? What can I do about this?
I mean, I think for me, and then Mackenzie get in here, I think like for me, I wasn't even like mad. I was just kind of just like throw my hands up, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't.
I almost cried, bro.
I wasn't upset about it. Because it was just like, to me, this is just confirming what I've always known. It's just to the extremist point. And I think that for me,
what I'm saying,
it's just a showcase of like white people are treated differently in life, but also by these systems in power. And this is just a firsthand glimpse of what we all know and have probably seen. It's just more apparent that it was the Capitol, which is, I mean, crazy, but
from top to bottom.
Yeah,
from the beginning of the U.S. Capitol Police turning down National Guard, turning down support, and to man and be prepared for the crowd. That would have never happened for Black Lives Matter. You're talking about, even if you've seen clips of like police officers helping protesters or rioters, these terrorists down the steps, opening the gate, like that would never happen with us. And that's why, and even honestly, the fact that not more dead bodies have been there, you see videos of them running away and picking up batons. It would have been shots fired.
Bro, shots fired on sight.
So no, we don't. That's why I don't know. I'm just so like irritated. I'm not irritated by what we saw yesterday, because that people are gonna do what they're gonna do. I'm more irritated by the politicians and some of the media people talking about, what I can't imagine what this would have been like if it was a Black Lives Matter, or just still scared to call out racism, even when President-elect Biden is talking about this isn't America, or we're so much better than this. No, stop saying that.
And that's literally what I'm trying to say. Is like, it's that's why I would say I'm not mad at the acts. That I don't give a, you know what I'm saying? My ancestors built that for y'all, mother. You know, I don't care about that bull crap. It ain't doing nothing to help me, for real. I'm irritated. I'm frustrated. I'm fed up. I'm tired, because it's over and over and over again. You see, it's like people continue to persist in this, again, facade, this fantasy that is not real, that racism has disappeared and it's not here and we're better than this and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we're not. And like you said, nobody's calling it out. Nobody's actually like actively doing anything to change it per se. So it's irritating to me as a Black man when it's like, well, you know, you wanted to go to law school, right? And that's where it comes down for me. I wanted to go to law school and I wanted to be the one champion of justice. But that's an uphill battle, and that's a frustration. And it's like, do I want to depress myself even dealing with that? So it hit, I guess it hit me differently, because I
think for me, it was hard, because I think, kind of like what you all are saying, it's like, it's not the action, it's how we react to it. And then we kind of engage in this, we're going to go on this week-long cycle of how we need to appeal to these better angels and show ourselves as America, and, oh, it's an attack on American democracy. And it's like, my people just got the right to vote 50 years ago, and we still barely have it now. So like, this image that you keep of yourself, it doesn't exist for everyone else who is largely not white, or specifically a white man. So I have no sympathy if you feel like your image of democracy has been attacked, because for me, I've never known it. Yeah. So like, I just don't care. I don't care if you feel like America is the shining city on the hill. Like, F that. I don't have sympathy for you. Like, this is what it is. And you're going to tell yourself that we're better than this, and we're never going to be. And it's going to be the same cycle. We always go down.
It's going to be the same thing.
And the problem is that people like Biden are following it too. And I wish that more, this is kind of when like those young members that we talk about, I want them to get on the floor and cuss. Like, this is some bullshit. Like, this is some bullshit.
Seriously.
I didn't even freak out at my screen until Biden came up there and kept saying that rhetoric, like, America's so, and it's just like, you're still missing.
Clear them out. Run them. Like,
and the images that I think were like so important was after the fact, Thursday morning, when everything is cleared out and all the Black and brown people have to clean up the Capitol after all of this nonsense. And that's just what it is. And I think that goes into even what Georgia is now. Like, after the nonsense of what white people have done, Black people have to come in, like Stacey Abrams working overtime to get things in order. And it's tiring. Like, I'm just so annoyed.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess, and I know we didn't want to keep this too long, but I guess that kind of answers the question because I had another question of like, where do we go from here? And I think my answer is probably the same place we've always been. I mean, you know,
And to me, that's a problem. It's
I
like
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
we gotta, and that's what I'm saying. What can we do? How do we do? Like I want to get up and do something like for real because it's like to go back to that same complacency essentially. Literally snatch somebody.
No, I mean,
Snatch,
and like,
snatch,
Y'all don't get it. Like, I
like
don't know what
snatch
else to
somebody.
do.
Like it's like to go back to that complacency, especially after yesterday when it was just so blatant to our face. I think for me, the first time in my life, that's the most like just raw. You know, I done seen her, whatever, but seeing that,
yeah, I mean, I
that
guess,
was so disrespectful and
yeah.
degrading to black people in our existence.
Yeah.
It's like, boy, the next month can protest whatever. We need to run this, run that,
And I
run
think,
that.
Can't, because it's not
yeah.
even like the retaliation isn't like we gotta go hard because our lives are at stake when we do
And that's
this.
what I'm
So it's not
saying. That's
even.
what I'm saying. What do we do? Because, like me, I'm just a person that's super passionate. Imagine that person that's an organizer. They out there in the fields trying to do the change.
But I
On the
think,
front line, that got hit with the tear gas and got hit with the rubber bullets, and they see yesterday.
I mean,
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, I think that's my frustration is that I think, and it's like, this is not only on like white politicians, but it's on black politicians too. Like, we've done the work. The work has been done. We voted. We organized.
bro,
What are
we
you
did
gonna
what
do
y'all
now?
asked
Like,
us
this
to
is
do.
on
Now it's
you.
time for
Like,
y'all. It's time for y'all to look out for us.
right.
For real.
And
For
that's why
real,
I'm
for
so
real.
glad now that Georgia's now flipped, and now y'all can't sit here and say that.
We did our part.
Yeah, we've done our
Did our
part,
part.
and now you can't blame. Well, it's the other side. No,
It's on
We
you.
flipped
no.
the whole state. Let's be
Yeah, a
clear.
state that's like that's. And that's
That's
what sucked
rooted in.
about yesterday, though, because that was really such a major moment.
That should have been a happy day.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
major
But
moment.
no, like to
Flip.
both of you guys' points though, since that's a major moment and it should have been a happy day. That I think that kind of like goes to what I was saying earlier to where like since 2008, America has been on this progressive change, right? And to me, seeing yesterday was like culmination of it. We changed not only a southern state but Georgia,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like civil rights headquarters, dang
Yeah.
near, right? You flipped Georgia, and it wasn't the whole state. It was areas within the state. So that speaks volume to like who's coming out. That speaks volume to the work Stacey Abrams doing,
Yes.
mobilizing black people. And that's what I'm saying. It can't just be we go back to complacency because the Democratic Party has to realize if you don't you have to speak up for us. You have to represent us. You have to push what's best for us because we are this party. And if let's say, enough powerful blacks, whatever, Diddy was trying to create this black political party, whatever. Let's say that realistically on some real live organizing, come together, kumbaya happen. These white people will have nothing.
None of them would. I mean, and I think that's the thing is like.
No, on both sides though.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I think that, and this goes to your point of like, we've done the organizing and we did the work. Georgia, like your people in Georgia did the work. And like now we always talk, and I know you tweeted something like this and I give you credit for it. It was almost like, we always talk about whites and blacks follow the stereotypes of black political engagement where it's like, oh, you're going to do all this other stuff and shuck and jive, but you're not going to vote. And it's like, get yourself out of that thinking because we're just as organized as anyone else. And we have the most to lose every time. And it takes us the most to get organized because y'all don't want us to be. And now that we are, Democrats have this one shot where in these next 2 years, I want student loans, criminal justice, maternity care for black women. And if they don't do that, they're done. Because they had this shot. They did all this crying about it. Yeah. Obama told us to vote, Stacey Abrams, all this, and we did that. Now it's on them.
Yeah.
And if they don't do that, I think they're going to get to a place where they can never recover from that.
Yeah.
Because we have specific demands And if Biden gets in there and within the first week voting rights is not handled, they're fucking up. And that needs to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Talk about
Period.
Talk about it. Because Warnock ran on his whole little, well, not Warnock, with him.
What was his?
Him too, but Offset.
Offset.
Shout out to Senator.
Homeboys. I seen him the other day at Chick-fil-A. We were cooling.
Shout out to Senator
Offset. But not for real. On some stuff, like his whole campaign, both of them are close to John Lewis. John Lewis is embedded in civil rights, but basically Offset, his whole thing is he wants to recraft the civil rights system, make it more, appeasing to blacks and all of that. So he's coming with this bill in honor of John Lewis. They tried to pass it like last year, right, Noah?
They tried to pass it last year, but it never even got to the Senate. So
right. So that's his whole thing. So like for me, if he don't make that happen, me and Offset gonna have some Cardi B conversations.
No, I mean, but I think that's the thing where it's like, I think, and like Mackenzie, I think you to a black woman, because as a black woman can speak more to this than Henry and I, but like, I think now is the time where we can literally like bully people and be like, all this shit you got, it'd be a shame if it went away.
Yeah.
Because we don't have, because if you're not gonna do anything when we do come out, then what's the point?
Yeah, literally, what's the point? Because it was such a big haul, and I'm just so sick and tired of them just making excuses all the time for why they can't get stuff done. Now you have no excuses. Deliver and make it happen, because it's just like how everything goes. Why do we, and I hate to sound like this, but damn, why can't we just do our part and things work out? Like, I'm tired of, like, why do we always have to fight and do the most? Like, damn.
Yeah, I know. I saw someone said that, politicians ask for black people to do everything without them doing anything.
Yeah.
And expect that, like, we're going to be happy without even getting a slice. And it's like.
But that's what I'm saying. We can't go back to complacency.
And the funny thing is, I think more people are at that point where it's like, if y'all don't do this, then fuck y'all. I really believe that people in our generation, like, this is the time Democrats were smart, where it's like, this is how they get people like Noah, Mackenzie, and Henry to lock in for life. Where it's like, if they don't.
Yeah, no.
And that, again,
if I can't see a reason when I do, then what's the point if I don't?
Yeah.
You ain't go back to complacency.
And stop using this, well, it's either me or them. Because honestly, maybe something else needs to come up. Because that's what they always like do this whole, like their whole motto is like, well, I know I'm not the best, but over there is even worse. But it's like, no.
Yeah, in politics, no one else is asked to think that way. No one else.
Yeah.
100%. And that's what, like, I guess irritates me about it, because, we champion people like, let's say Kamala. She's black. She went to HBCU, whatever. She's supposed to understand. But then when they get in these positions of power, they don't necessarily do it. Versus, like, you have the younger squad members who are trying their best to kind of like shake up this whole bilateral system. That's kind of like, it's like a tennis game. They just
back and forth.
So like it's not interesting, but it's like, I like the energy that's coming. However, if the energy just kind of like it rolls up and does nothing, then it makes you question, like, what is this democracy we're fighting for? What is it, this system that we believe in or we're trying to?
Because it's clearly not benefiting us.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, what's the point of all of this?
Yeah.
Easily.
So we're going to see. So I guess that will conclude our special episode. This is number 64. We thank you for joining us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WRGO Pod. Be sure to watch and subscribe on YouTube, where you can watch all of our videos and our short special videos in full. Be sure to like, listen, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. And to keep up with all of our updates on the website, be sure to check out what's really going on pod.com. That's a great outro for you.
March coming soon.
Thank you as always.